This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. And today, we have no trivia? None at all. It's just going to be a couple of guys, three of us actually, just hanging out, talking about Christmas, what we like, what we dislike, a lot about what we dislike. And I have a nice little rant prepared for the end, so don't let me forget. If I forget about the rant, just please remind me. Because it's about a very specific movie, and it's starting to eat at my brain. Just because I've been on the social media, and this has come up a couple times, and then I searched on YouTube, and it's come up like several years ago. So this isn't a new thing. So you've probably heard it. So it's very upsetting to me now. So just know that there is a kids' Christmas movie with murder at the end. And that's all I want you guys to know. And you can think about that until the very end, and we'll touch on it at the end of this episode. So anyway,
all right.
So with me today, you already heard him. That's Josh. Josh, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. I was running around a little bit today. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law are coming over and for making cookies tomorrow. So I was running around picking up some supplies and all that. And so I got to hang out with lots of people, and you'll probably hear me complain about that at some point here. Because
if you know, I think I know you in the 4 years we've been doing this, that people aren't your favorite.
No, especially large groups of them who don't seem to know what they're at a store to get. So, but we can cover that probably down.
Sure. All right, and then also with us, I thought this was going to be a two-man show, but we put it out to everybody to come join us, and Mason has answered the call. Mason, how you doing?
I'm good. So yeah, at the time of recording it, everyone in my household is asleep. So I figured I don't have anything else better to do. What am I going to do? Watch a blowout of a college football playoff game? Because they're all been blowouts. I'm not going to do that. I'll just hang out with you guys. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Talk about all things Christmas.
And sports is officially sports is a Christmas thing now too, right? The NFL has officially started putting games on every Christmas. Yeah, so but you got to have like some what subscription service do you need to have for it this year? Is it just like Peacock? Or?
I feel like Peacock is their default option for that. I don't know. Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. Anyway, all right. So
add that to the list of things you don't like.
Oh, geez. Yes. So first things first, let's just talk about traditions that you like, traditions that you participate in, whether it's as a family, because I feel like as Christmas every year, tradition is huge, at least for me. Whether it be, what you eat for dinner or, things you do with your family. This year we were supposed to go, there is a town or neighborhood, not even a town, it's like a little development about half hour away from here that decks their everybody in this neighborhood puts lights all over their house, and it's insane. And they do it for a good cause. Normally they have some charity they're working towards, and it's I think it's called Stony Brook. It's either in like Lancaster or Depew, New York. But this year we were going to go. My son was feeling a little under the weather, and it's like negative 400 degrees outside. So, doing that wasn't probably ideal today. But maybe tomorrow we'll see how it's going. But I do have Bill's tickets tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway, Josh, Mason, what do you guys like?
Yeah, I haven't actually done it. What you were talking about, kind of a similar thing, is just driving around and seeing all the different houses of people who go a little overboard. We used to have some neighborhoods, or like cul-de-sac type groups about 20, 30 years ago that did every house and all that. I just drove by one of the old ones. I was like, are they still doing that? And there was like half of the street had just normal amount of light stuff. I was like, oh, that's too bad. But I think I might I might drag the missus out. She doesn't get out of the house as much, since she works from home and all that. So we might just drag her out one of these evenings and um, go find some good lights to look at. So that's always kind of fun. Listen to the Christmas music while you're doing it too, obviously.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, this neighborhood even too, some of the houses you drive by, they'll like turn your radio station to this, and then you'll hear like a song that goes with
Oh.
their light scheme or
Wow, see, it's
whatever's going
gotten
on.
way
So
more advanced than it was, a couple of decades ago.
I'm a guy that would love to do it, but every time I go to like Lowe's or Home Depot to try to get the lights and everything that I want to buy, before I know it, like there's like $400 in my cart, and I'm just like, maybe next year. So I think that the idea going forward is maybe just buy like a little bit at a time, and my house will just slowly grow into one of these.
That's probably the better, spending wise to do it, to build up rather than try to just
Do it
deck
all at
out
once,
your
yeah.
whole place with, $1,000 worth of lights and whatnot.
Mason, where are you with lights? I don't know this about you, Mason. I don't know. Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a home? Where
I'm in a house now,
You're in a
so we've been
house.
living here about almost 6 months.
Okay.
As far as Christmas lights, we don't have a whole lot right now, so we don't have any on the outside. We have a little small tree, but yeah, there's some places like you were talking about with the radio stations that are kind of big, like attractions around here and like outside of Baton Rouge and that kind of thing. The main thing we usually go do every year, there's a hospital. It's about 10 minutes away. It's one of the bigger hospitals in Baton Rouge, and they do a free Christmas lights where you walk through it. So it's a bunch of like different like animals, and like there's a big present that you can walk through, and it's all sorts of stuff. So it's a really nice kind of like family spot, and my wife and I have been doing it ever since we've known each other. So I'm planning on bringing our son tomorrow, actually,
Nice.
as time recording. So it's already been kind of a tradition for us, and we're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, that
But
sounds awesome.
it's a nice little fun thing. It's usually not too packed, which you'd think it would be because it's kind of a unique thing around here. But and the weather now is finally cool because it's usually 90 degrees and rainy. That's Louisiana winter.
I
It's
was
never
just
really
going to ask
cold.
you, being naive to the scenario is like being here. It's in the wintertime it's cold. Christmas time it's cold. Sometimes we'll have like 50 degrees and people have shorts on at Christmas. But in Baton Rouge, like what is the standard Christmas Day temperature for you guys?
It changes by the hour. And I'm joking in a way, but it one day will go from like 90 and then it will drop to like 40. Like it's very unpredictable, so it gets a lot of people sick around here, especially unless you've been living here for a while. You kind of get used to it, but yeah, it's a crapshoot. You never know what you're gonna get for Christmas.
You get
as
some
far
big
as, like, the
swings.
weather.
Whew.
Yeah, it can. I say 90 isn't exaggerating, but like it'll be hot compared to that. And I think one year is a while back we got like a tiny bit of snow. Now snow is just like a little bit of ice that accumulates on the ground. It's not really anything big. It melts in like 5 seconds, and you can maybe make a snowball if you're really quick. Just enough to get the roads messy.
Oh. Well,
But
it's
yeah,
funny
it's
because here we just had 2 consecutive weeks of 3 feet of snow, and then by the time the next week came, it has all melted, and then we got 3 feet again, and now it is currently all melted again.
Oh my
So
word.
it's been. I mean, we have a nice little. I mean, you can still kind of see the grass right now, but it's been snowing a little bit today, so there's a nice coating, but still not. Like I'm like, oh, it's 3 feet of snow. We're gonna have a white Christmas, and then it melted it. And I'm like, oh, well, but we're gonna get 3 more feet. All right, we're definitely having a white Christmas. And no, that's all gone too.
Wow.
So yeah,
And we a couple days ago, a few days ago, 2-3 days ago, we got half a foot, but we've been steadily in the teens and 20s, so it's all still here. So we should be good for a white Christmas here in Minnesota.
yeah. I think if what we have now stays, it's enough to consider it a white Christmas. Because today I think our high was like 18. Tomorrow is going to be 15. So all that fun. I was putting groceries into the car today, and I'm just like, it is holy crap. And I'm not one that gets cold, and I was all set. I'm like, all right, this is enough.
Was there a good wind whipping?
No, it was just so and I'm not, maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's, I've never been this, and this is what I tell people all the time. You've never been this old before. And now it applies again 3 seconds later. You've never been this old before. So anytime something like that happens to me, I'm like, maybe it's just because I'm elderly now.
Well, what does that? I mean, apparently I'm younger than you, even though I'm older than you, because I don't have those kind. It takes a good wind chill for me to feel like I need to not be anywhere except right next to heat.
It used to be for me, but now I'm like noticing my hands are cold all the time. Like I feel like that's an old person thing where you're like my hands are cold, and just like I never wore a coat, and people at work would always call me crazy. And like I've noticed recently, I've been wearing a coat to work, and this is just, I'll walk out of the building, I'm like, oh, it's cold. I'm like, normally I never had those thoughts before.
Well, you also shed some pounds.
Yeah, but my hands.
So
really?
I'm big again myself. But I had lost, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago. I lost 100 pounds, so I was down to like 220 something.
Yeah.
And I noticed my hands and feet got cold, and they never did before. So you're probably getting some of that because you shed some of that insulation, which does affect even the extremities. So
I will say this: even after losing all the weight, my hands get cold. But I refer to this. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is a real thing. I have hot foot syndrome, and if it's not a real thing, I'm going to call it that right now. My feet are always 400 degrees. I will walk outside in bare feet, and they will not be cold.
So it's just your hands.
It's just my hands.
That's kind of weird. It's like polar opposites on the.
Like at the second I walk in the house, my socks are off, my shoes they have to come off immediately. Anyway. So let's go to the next tradition. What is your traditional go-to, or if it was up to you to prepare dinner for Christmas?
I mean, usually it's almost a mimic of Thanksgiving. It's often a turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, things like that. It's usually that. But this year, my wife wants to try a brisket. So we're going to slow cook a brisket. So it sounds, I mean, I've never had any issues with brisket. So, but I've never had it. So I've never had it like on Christmas.
We're
going to switch things up a little bit.
Mason?
Yeah. I was going to say kind of something similar. Like it's usually a lot of like Thanksgiving-ish things. On my mom's side of the family, although not as much recently, when I was younger, we used to do this thing where we'd have like a different country that we'd pick, and we would do dishes from that country. So it was kind of like to introduce people, because some of my mom's side of the family are very picky eaters, but we kind of would pick like different countries. One year, I think we did Greece. So we had like a bunch of Mediterranean food. One year we did, I think, France. So we haven't done it probably in the last maybe 5-10 years. It was a thing we did for a long time. Now we've kind of moved more toward like the traditional side of it, but it was a kind of nice family tradition, was different than usual. It was a nice opportunity just to try new things.
See, I'm happy, first of all, that I am 100% anti-ham on Christmas. I don't agree with it. Ham is for Easter, and that's it. So stop it.
That's an interesting take.
No, I'm very particular about things, that I don't want ham on Christmas. Well, now it's become three things. So when we go to my mother's house on Christmas Eve, we have Hungarian Christmas. So it's all Hungarian food, which is wonderful. And it's more than just sausage, if you think that. So it's a lot of other things. So, and now that my mother's older, I'm in charge of making about half of it. And then my other sisters mess up what they're doing, and then we move on. And then on Christmas Day, I have to cook yet again. But now the past few years, we've settled on beef tenderloin. We kind of make it a little bougie on Christmas Day. So it's but it's nice. We wrap a beef tenderloin and some bacon with some rubs on it and stuff like that. And I will recommend this to everybody. If you like to cook, if you like potatoes, baked potatoes, that is, it's called a French onion soup baked potato, and it's probably the best thing I've ever made. It's like it's more like a twice baked potato. You kind of core it out, mix the potatoes with this onion cheese mixture, and you put it back on and then throw it back in and cook it. And it goes really well with any type of beef. So it's just, yeah, awesome.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, if I could send one to you and it would make it there, I would do it. All right. Other traditions that you guys like to do, I'll hit you with a couple. One, my mom always makes these Hungarian cookies. Now that we know Dobush Delights exist, you can even go try them without having my mother make them for you. They're called Keeflies. She makes them every year. She just made them 2 days ago, and I stole a bunch. I tell her that they're super dry, but that's just because I have to. I've been saying it for 20 years. I have to keep up the thing. But they've gotten better. They've gotten better, Mary. I know you don't listen to this, but they've gotten better. The other thing a new tradition of mine is probably about 2 years old. Is you've guys heard of the sneaker company Brooks?
Yes.
Everybody knows Brooks, right? So they release a Christmas sneaker every year. So that is my new thing, is I wait for them to come out and I will buy the new ones every year. And I've never got more compliments on my sneakers. Starting November 1st, I will wear my Christmas sneakers from November 1st until January 1st, and then I am done, and I go back to my regular old sneakers. So I get excited every October when they announce the new ones, and then I'll buy the new ones again, and then, now I'll have a rotation about 3 or 4 come next year. And then the last tradition, I've noticed inflation has hit this product, and I don't agree with it because it's so basic, is the popcorn tins. They used to be $5, okay? And now what are they? They're like creeping up to $10, and it's annoying. But, the tin of popcorn that never gets stale. It's weird. You could have that thing through August, and it tastes exactly the same as it did in December. But, yeah. So, all right, guys. What do you guys got?
Well, for a family kind of recipes type thing, my grandma would always make rice pudding. And I don't know. I've had different rice puddings at restaurants. I've tried buying some from the grocery store, and they all suck.
Oh yeah.
So,
yes.
but my grandma's is delicious now, and so my dad actually makes it as good as she did. So, they always make me like a big old Tupperware.
So what are you going to do? Are you learning how to do it now?
Not yet, because my dad's
need,
still making it. So
that's fine, but you need to be ready.
Yeah, that is true.
Take
that
over.
Is true. Yeah, I mean, it's not a real complicated recipe. I don't think. You just have to, have your double boiler and pay attention to timing. I think those are the big pieces.
Oh, jeez.
So
once double boiling's involved, I feel like I'm.
That's the part that has me a little nervous.
Labor intensive, yeah.
So
you gotta actually stand there with it.
Other than that, like for the longest time, especially when I was a kid, and then even for much of my younger adulthood, my family is all from Red Wing, Minnesota, which that is where Red Wing shoes are made. If you've ever seen or owned a pair, it's a river town on the Mississippi. That's it's a I don't know, medium-sized town, and but all my dad's brothers and sisters still live in the area. So on Christmas Eve, my uncle always hosts everybody, and I haven't gone in probably 5 or 10 years, maybe now, just because there's a lot of like cousins, kids, and some of them have now had their kids. It's like just too many kids, and I don't need too many kids, so we haven't gone in a long time. But the thing that always bugged me is my mom would be like, "We get to bring down one present," so my brother and I, we would each get one present, and it was usually something not exciting that we would get to open, while cousins were like having like all of their gifts, like, so they were like opening 5, 10 gifts, and it's like, and we're sitting there with our one, like, oh, a t-shirt, thanks. And cousins were just opening gift after gift after gift, so that got a little old. So it was nice to be around family, but then some of that, like, it didn't feel equitable. So As a kid, as an adult, it's just too many. It's too many kids now.
Yeah, as the kid, when you see somebody, you have that mental count in your head. Like, wait a minute, I only had 3, and they had 7 presents. Like, I should have at least 2 more.
Which, in the end, I
Like,
knew that, like, I saw the gifts under the tree at home that I knew on Christmas Day when we would be back, I would get to open all of my gifts. But it was just that whole process of like, okay, do we really have to sit here and watch them open so many? Can they maybe not have them all opened at the same place? Like we don't, like take it home? I don't know, whatever. Other than that,
so here's a question for both you guys then.
Yeah.
Are you on the more presents to open, or one significant present is enough?
well, now for me personally, one significant one is ideal. And it usually, because lately in the last handful of years, it's been uh, decent sized Lego sets. So,
Sure.
you're not going to usually get more than a gift.
So
of those.
I'll say this to Mason, because Mason, I'm in this battle right now. Is what's the way to put it? Is my wife and even my mother and sister are all gun ho for getting the kids as much as they could possibly want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if they ask for one specific thing and that is their number one, everything after that kind of just
I don't really care about as much.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not I'm more about quality, not quantity. And I will say this to anybody listening, that if you have kids in your family that you have to buy for that are not your children, just don't. They don't want it. They don't want it. They're the toys, like it's the toys that my kids get that other people buy for them are broken within 4.5 seconds, and it's just it's bad.
Yeah, no, that's well, and also depends on ages you're talking about too, because
Yeah.
I know my mom with stepkids from my first marriage, and even with Alex now, and he's 20 now, so it's like my mom kind of gave up the ghost a few years ago, because my mom was always a theme gifter, so it'd be like all the gifts kind of really go together, and so she would always get to that point of wanting to do something, and I'd just be like, just give him cash or a gift card. That's what he like. In the end, when they become like teenagers, they know what they want, and sure, they could give you a list of the quality items they want, or you can just give them something that they can put towards whatever they want,
Exactly.
and then they'll send you a picture of what they got. So
Yeah, I was in that boat as a teenager. Honestly, I was like, just give me gift cards. I'm fine. I'll get something I want, and you don't have to worry about getting something I'm not going to get much use out of. So yeah, I was definitely in that boat.
How old's your son now, Mason?
He just turned 10 months.
Just so this is his
It's his
first Christmas. So
Mhm.
how bad is it?
It hasn't really been that bad. I will say at this point, so we have a small tree and we have presents underneath it. It's just been a challenge because he is very mobile now. He does not walk, but he crawls very fast, or just lurches around very fast. It's not even a
Sure.
crawl. It's more just like falling forward, sometimes hitting his face, but not hard. But just it's an awkward motion. But he's gotten to the presents a couple of times, like not bad, just like gnaws on the paper kind of thing because
Sure.
it's eating.
That's what they do.
Mostly
Yeah.
it's pretty much. I think it's pretty much all been my gifts. Coincidentally, I don't know why that works out that way. But it really hasn't been that bad. I know you're talking about like number of gifts thing. We really didn't go overboard because
Okay.
it's just like this. He barely knows what's going on, right? And it's just he's so
Exactly.
I and my parents, and we all talk about this. And it's just like we know that he's going to be more excited about the boxes and the wrapping paper and the bows than he actually is going to be the gifts. He's had no idea what's going on with that, but we have opened one gift with him early, but we have like a couple of smaller ones, not really anything big. Um, I don't know. Like maybe my sister, or my mom might spoil him a little bit because they get him things from time to time as it is. So, but yeah, we kind of try to keep it very minimal as far as just gifts in general. Like I'm kind of with you on the intentionality of it. Like this point, a lot of people are giving gifts to our older. Like my nephews are, one of them's in middle school, one's in high school. So kind of like we were talking about, like they know what they want to get. We just get them a gift card somewhere, or just give them something where they can kind of figure it out on their own instead of just playing the guessing game and possibly missing terribly, getting them something they're not going to use. But yeah, I'm kind of in that boat. All of the above between what y'all said.
Yeah, so just please don't buy Mason's child any toys. Let them be in charge. And that's one thing I will say with kids. I don't like when other people buy my kids toys because one, my son, he's the 7-year-old with autism. He is very he has an OCD personality when it comes to certain things. When he finds something he likes, he will obsess over it. So when people buy things that kind of trigger that obsession, I don't like it. Because now it's something I'll end up having to take away and then causes a big old issue. And here's a public service announcement for everybody. If you ever buy a child Play-Doh and it is not your child, shame on you. Don't buy Play-Doh, don't buy slime, don't buy that kinetic sand if it is not your child. If you are giving it to somebody and it's not your kid, you should be arrested. Anyway. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, next part I maybe want to touch on a little bit is now we can get to the stuff. I've already actually kind of hit it a little bit, stuff that we hate. And I'm going to kick this off with one very specific thing, having worked in retail for a while of my younger life before I had to be an adult and get a real job. One of the things I hated the most are the stupid presents, like gift ideas that stores will put up more or less just to trick somebody's aunt or grandmother into buying it for them. And then all of a sudden you're opening things and you're just like, oh, cool. Like socks with like just random stuff on it that I would never just stop tricking people's grandmothers into buying stuff for their grandkids because they think it might be a good idea. It's not. Anyway, what do you guys dislike? Because that's really a big pet peeve of mine.
I mean, I already mentioned it once, but shopping amongst the masses, just not a fan of it. And most of my gift buying I do online, whether it's Amazon or Etsy or other places that will deliver it to my house where I don't have to go. But I still have to go out and get some stuff. Like we had to get stuff for the cookies baking for tomorrow, and it was just too many people in one spot. The older I get, the less I like large groups of people. So I don't go to our state fair anymore, which is always huge, unless there's a cool concert, and then I just go shortly before the concert, get a couple of food items and go to the concert and then leave. Like I mean, people aren't my favorite thing. They just aren't in general. And I don't know if that's just a me thing or getting older thing or.
I don't know if it's so much as people as I mean, because I agree to an extent where it's the crowds.
Yeah.
I went to get something. I just had a Target order to pick up for my wife ordered something and I had to go to Target to go just pull up into this to the slot, type my number, my phone, and they bring it to your car. There was a 15-minute line to get into the Target parking lot. I don't understand why it was our local Target is designed so poorly. It's bad. And there was a line and I'm like, why is this taking so long just to get into the parking lot? I don't understand. People don't understand stop signs. People don't understand yields and all that other and take your turn and all that fun stuff.
Is there only one way into your Target parking lot?
There's two, but they're both terrible.
Oh, yeah. See, I usually know kind of the back routes of most of our Targets around here that I can avoid the main stretch that I know most people are going to take.
Yeah, even the back route on this one was mobbed. It was like both aspects of it. Like it was, I'm just like, why am I? And I just needed to pick, like, just like I said, pull into the slot and have somebody bring something to my car, and it's whatever. All right, Mason, I know you don't hate a lot of things, but go.
Well, yeah, shopping is one of those things that we try to get it done early. So like November, like we're pretty much done by November, except for a couple of maybe extra things. Try to get even before Black Friday, because goodness knows we're not fighting that with especially with a child. Like, I'm no,
Yeah.
happening. Um, like the main thing for me, and it aggravates my wife a lot, because I'm a very staunch person on this, and I think we've had this in our group chats about this, and I haven't said anything because I don't want to get on my soapbox and get mad about it. I think Dan is one of the other ones in the same boat. Christmas music before December 1st is a no-go for me. Like
Oh.
I can't. I'm sorry. Let me enjoy Thanksgiving and as much as I can before. Because it'll be like early October and they're pushing out Christmas stuff. I'm like, okay, wait, I have Halloween and Thanksgiving to get to. Let me not. I mean, I'm buying gifts, sure, but like the celebration part of it, I'm like, let me. That's what December's for. December's for
But no
that
one's
stuff.
stopping you. No one's stop because I am the Christmas person. November 1st, I'm in. No one's stopping you from enjoying Thanksgiving. You could just play some Christmas music at Thanksgiving. It's no one says it's not okay. Like, but
No, I, don't,
I get
my
it.
wife would want to start playing it like September. I'm like, oh, just hold on. No. Because there's a radio station
She
that
sounds
plays
like
all
good people.
She is, except for this part. But yeah, there's a radio station. They start playing in like November, and she
Yeah,
wants to
ours
turn on the
is.
car, and I'm like, on principle, I'm like, I will allow it in December. I'd rather just sit in silence, not even listen to the radio. Like, I'd rather do that. Listen to anything else. Just wait till December. That's my one thing. Stand on a soapbox, and we'll die on that hill. Just
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was very surprised because usually, I mean, it used to be you could at least get through Halloween at department stores before they put out Christmas stuff. But yeah, now it's the beginning of October. They do have
Mhm.
Halloween stuff, but then they also have the Christmas stuff starting to come out. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, seriously, people,
Enjoying the season.
they're catering to you, Eric.
So
You're going through it.
here's a story. This is a little insider information for you guys. My stepson, who's currently 19, so no longer in Scouts. But when he was about 9 or 10, he was taken on a tour of the radio station. We were allowed to come with him. And at the very end of this tour, the guy standing there, he says, "Does anybody have any questions?" And my wife looked me dead in the eyes, says, "Please don't, please don't." And I raised my hand, and I'm like, "When are you guys going to start playing Christmas music?" And he's like, "Funny you should ask." He's like, "There's way more involved in deciding when they start playing it than anybody would ever imagine." And he said it's because the amount of people that leave the station because you started playing Christmas music is much smaller than the amount of people they get to that start to listen because they started playing Christmas music. So it's better for them in the long run. So
That's right. I can't remember the last time I turned on a radio to be on radio. Like, even when I'm listening to Christmas music is now, like today I was driving around and doing all that. I was listening to Christmas music streaming. Don't want to deal with commercials. I don't want to deal with, and I don't want to deal like if there's a song I don't like, I can just fast forward. Like next song, I can't deal with just having to be forced to listen to music that I don't have a choice on.
I listen to it every morning, and I told you guys in our little group chat that it actually worked out this week because I won tickets to a concert while listening. And this was the funniest part of all of it because I was listening to the Christmas station, and what tickets were they giving away? Nelly Ja Rule. So it was not connected in any way, and I'm just like
Christmas
what?
connection. I don't know. What do you
No,
mean it's very obvious how this is going to
the
So
week
obvious.
before the week because every morning this station gives away tickets to something, right? Always something, and like it goes weeks at a time. So this week, every time at 7:30 in the morning, they gave away tickets to Nelly Ja Rule. The week before was Nutcracker. The week before that was like Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So all the other ones have been Christmas related until this week. And they're like, "Oh, Nelly Ja Rule." I'm like, "I'll try." And then the dude answered the phone, and I won Nelly Ja Rule tickets. So
you're like one of 15 people who listen to actual radio, so it's probably easier to win these days than it was in the 80s and 90s.
Probably. But it was Nelly Ja Rule, so come on.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that sounds like you'd have to
Mason,
go be with a group of people. Ugh.
Mason doesn't know who they are, but for those who do,
I'm aware. I do know who they are.
That's
I'm not saying
music.
avid
He
listeners of
knows music. He
Oh.
just doesn't know
Yeah,
movies
I know.
and
I'm
TV.
familiar with a lot of music. Most Christmas songs, except Dominic the Donkey. will never listen to.
All right.
That's another thing I can't stand.
Oh yeah,
But I
Josh
don't
and I
ever
are
have to
on
listen
that.
to it.
Yeah.
Outside of Dominic the Donkey, what's your least favorite Christmas movie or music song?
I haven't even heard it. I don't like it. I haven't even heard the song. It's just out of principle from this podcast. I am not
That
listening.
you'd hate it more if you actually heard it once, so don't even bother.
Okay, good.
You would love it if you listened to it, Mason.
No,
Just-
you wouldn't.
That means I'll
Mason,
hate
no,
it.
you
If he
wouldn't.
eats says he'll love it. He wants Christmas in July.
No,
He
no,
starts then,
no.
probably.
So if you like songs that have noises like hee haw, then you'll like it. If you're hearing that a number of times in a song would drive you crazy, don't listen to it because that's
you
half the
good.
song.
It'd be like some stereotypical New Yorker that's Italian singing a song about a donkey.
Oh God, it's so bad.
All right.
Oh,
It's so bad it's good. That's
Yeah.
the point.
God.
Oh, because
You
I
know,
used to
I'm
hate
not
it.
sure. I'm trying to think of like I just surprisingly
there isn't one song.
surprisingly, a lot of the uh, religious based ones I quite enjoy. A lot of them are quite fun to sing, and I did carol when I was going to church before I got confirmed and all that good stuff when I was a teenager. So I actually like a lot of those songs. I think, some of the ones I'm just tired of, like kind of the old standards of, like White Christmas and Little Drummer Boy and some of those ones. It's just, I don't know. Like today I was listening to like, I don't know, Pentatonics,
Yeah.
a cappella group. They've put out like 5 or 6 different Christmas albums. I like them, especially I like their takes on Christmas music. So I was listening to a whole bunch of their stuff, and their takes on some of those songs that I'm kind of tired of actually kind of gave it some new life. So
My problem with them is they sing the song Hallelujah, which is not a Christmas song.
that seemed weird to me. I like the song in general.
So do I.
So I
I like
listened
the
to it. I was
versions of
like,
it.
this is Christmas.
I
And from what I understand, it's maybe not so religious-y either.
no,
Yeah,
we
no,
so-
not at all.
So
they,
I mean,
the funny story is they played the instrumental during communion at my wedding and it pissed the priest off. So yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously we could talk about
If
like
if it
hey.
wasn't allowed, tell me.
hey, if Like a Prayer is now Coolio to be sung in churches, I guess, but all bets are off.
Church is that being sung in?
What church?
You guys aren't on TikTok very much.
In Ohio.
There were a lot of churches who recently
Really?
have been having their choirs singing Like a Prayer.
Are they singing like a virgin as well for the Virgin Mary? Is that what it is?
That's probably
Oh,
coming
that's all.
next.
They
Yeah,
might-
I think what it comes down to is a lot of people in these choirs not knowing what the song is about.
Yeah,
But we don't need to get into all that.
That's funny.
So, I thought it was weird because I heard it on one of their albums, The Hallelujah. I was like, that doesn't seem like it fits, but hey, I mean,
And they played on their local Christmas radio station. I just heard it today when I was out driving. I'm like, that's not Christmas.
yeah.
At least they did get rid of Do You Want to Build a Snowman from their lineup. So that was a few years ago because they used to play that all the time. I'm like, that has nothing to do with Christmas at all.
It's snow. That's it.
It's just
I mean,
snow is a,
Hey,
I can't wait for Informer to be on one of those playlists.
right?
It's Christmassy.
Oh.
It's snow. It's
Right? Why not?
snow.
I'll write a letter.
Although I
Mason,
think on the end of one of Pentatonics they have the main song from Frozen.
Let it go.
oh really?
You know?
Or is it from Frozen 2? One of them they've got.
I don't know
I
what
was
the-
clear. I was listening. I was like, did this jump to another? Like, did it roll to a different album? It's like, nope.
I will say this: I do miss that they used to play during their whole Christmas, starting November 1st, all Christmas music on the radio. They used to sprinkle in the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song, and they've kind of stopped doing that. So I don't appreciate that because I always enjoy a good Hanukkah song from anime. Even but there's like 4 versions of it now, so it's but
Yeah.
not anymore. All right, Mason, what is the one Christmas song that would make you gouge your eyes out? Or ears, for that matter, since you're not watching it.
Yeah, I don't have to watch it. Um, the first one I thought of, because it's just, I don't even know when it came out why people liked it, is the Chipmunk song
Oh,
from
yes.
like with the 50s or whatever. That is, the vocals just bother me. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
understand the
It
premise.
hurts my ears.
Yep.
It hurts.
Yep.
Like, it's like I can't. No, just sorry.
Yep.
No.
It's like the guy found the one thing on his radio. He's like, oh, well, if I do this when I record my voice, it makes it super high pitched. Let's do something with that.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
in the 50s or 60s
Yeah.
or something. It's an old one, but I'm just
Yep.
like, who likes this? Who willingly chooses to listen to this?
I totally agree with that, Mason. That is, yeah. But once again, I pick the music I'm listening to, and that song never shows up. Neither does Dominic the Donkey. Just,
Good.
I-
It's great.
I will say this for anybody who I've said this before. The greatest Christmas song of all time. Most people don't even know of it, and I wish everyone needs to give this song a chance and listen to it. It's "I Am Santa" by The Darkness, and if you've not listened to it, take a minute, just listen to it once. I hope it pulls you in because it's my favorite Christmas song that has ever been made. So,
Huh.
yes, please.
I haven't heard it.
neither have I.
It's so the second you start listening to it, it's by The Darkness. It's if you don't know who The Darkness is, it's not like dark, if that's what you're thinking it
No.
is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know the Darkness. The one,
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
hit song I can think of from them.
Correct. Yes, but it's very upbeat. It sounds almost 80-ish rock. Like it's
Yeah,
nice.
that's their vibe. So that makes sense.
All right. I got it queued up on my phone. When we're done here, I'll give it a listen.
Please.
Yeah.
All right. So, Beck, anything else that we hate? I'll finish mine with anybody that says, and I'll die on this hill, that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. So we've had this conversation many times, that it's just because it's a Christmas party that he's at doesn't make it a Christmas movie. But at the same time, Home Alone, what makes that a Christmas movie? Because it was at Christmas time?
Right.
Right?
I saw like a TikTok or something of somebody who went and basically said that those are the two. It's basically the same movie, Die Hard
Yes.
and Home Alone,
They are.
and they're both Christmas movies because they happen at Christmas time.
Correct.
I mean,
But then-
I hate the argument of, well, if you take away the Christmas party, well, then they wouldn't have been getting together and they wouldn't have gone to go
Correct.
and rob the Nakatomi Plaza. They did it that day for a reason, because it was the Christmas party. Nobody else was going to be in the building except.
Yes.
No, it's
But
like-
it's
Well, then every Christmas movie, if you said, well, if we take away that it's around
Yeah,
Christmas time, then none of them are Christmas movies.
right. If you take away the Christmas tree, it's a Wonderful Life. I'll also die on that. That is less of a Christmas movie than Die Hard.
It's not a
Because
Christmas movie.
90% of that movie is not at Christmas time. Like it's like in the summer and like
not
through
a
the
Chri-
years.
I don't
and
think it's a Christmas movie.
I don't either.
And that's actually a hill I will die on. That
I can't.
just because in the last scene they're at the Christmas tree
Christmas.
and the bells and the
That's it, I guess.
That's it. And so if that's a Christmas movie, then Die Hard is 100% a Christmas
yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah. Well, you're not going to get any argument out of me. Mason is probably just pleading the fifth because it's movies.
I haven't seen Die Hard. I've seen Home Alone. I have not seen Die Hard.
What?
So I cannot comment on that.
Mason, please. Like
That's the list. I Am Santa and Die Hard.
Yes.
Um,
With
Hey,
your son.
you know what?
Watch
That's
Die
not a
Hard with
bad.
your-
That's not a bad two things to consume.
Just sit down with your son on your lap and throw Die Hard on.
Maybe
And
don't
just...
do that. I mean, he's 10 months, so he's not.
He's
gonna
10 months, so
do
he's
that.
just seeing the flashing lights and explosions and enjoying it for what it is. He won't see.
I mean,
He won't see Tagashi get popped in the forehead. It's fine. It's fine.
or watch it one of the nights when everybody in your house is asleep at 8.
There you go. All right, fair enough.
All right. Well, So I don't know if is there anything else you guys want to talk about Christmas wise? I mean, is there before I
I'm just starting to get into kind of my movies. I haven't. Last year I got into watching the Christmas movies quite a bit earlier because we did the bracket and I had a bunch of movies I hadn't seen and then ones that I had seen but I wanted to rewatch. Although just when I got home, I started watching Red One and I'm about a third of the way through. And so far,
very good.
it's not
It's
bad.
very good.
So don't spoil it for me because I'm not to the end.
No.
But it's, well, I mean, you look at some of the people who are in it, it's like, well, how it can't be bad with, the roster of people.
It's very good, and I started watching it, thinking, yes, it's a Christmas movie, so it should be okay with the kids, and it's PG-13. I didn't realize they were dropping some language. My son told me, hey, we can't say that. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right.
So I'm, in these next few days here, I'm going to be having those, like, when I'm still working on Monday, I work from home, I'll have a bunch of Christmas movies just playing while I'm working. And
So your thoughts on J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus?
I mean, it's a little weird because he's fit, but I mean, that's what they've made him to be. He's lifting big weights and it's okay.
I think it's
like
great.
him in everything he does.
Yes.
So if he's Santa, cool. He's Santa. I'm fine with that. You don't need to have big fat guys like me being Santa Claus.
He's probably my top 3 Santa Claus in a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also, was it because what's his Kurt Russell's number 2 for me? Like Kurt Russell and Christmas Chronicles.
Really good
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Those. Well, I don't know if I saw the second one. Did I watch? I think I did watch it. The first one, especially. That's a better movie than you would expect it to be.
Oh yes, I just watched it because somebody said it was really good. I'm like, I'll try it, and I was very skeptical going in, and it turned out to be a very good Christmas movie.
Yeah. Who else is in your top 3? So if we got 2, who's the third in your top 3 of Santa Claus?
I mean, the first Santa Claus, Tim Allen in the first Santa Claus, I appreciate. Everything after that kind of became a little. So, but I'm very, very picky about my Santa Clauses in the movies. So, and there's not many. I mean, granted, Tom Hanks is technically Santa Claus in Polar Express, but
yeah.
Like,
there's a lot that I don't know who the actors are, right? Like in Ernest Saves Christmas, I don't know who that actor is that played. But he did a wonderful job as a very just mild-mannered, just nice Santa Claus.
The original one, the old man, not the replacement.
Yeah,
yes.
The replacement had to learn to be a good person, right?
Yes. Mason, do you have a favorite Christmas movie? This is not a bracket. You can just.
I I don't know if it's just because I've seen it so much. I mean, Home Alone's a pretty good movie. It's kind of watered down for me the more I've seen it because I feel like every night on TV, I'm scrolling through stuff and I see it just pop up every night. So, I don't know. Elf has been one I haven't watched as much, but I kind of appreciate it. My mother-in-law is obsessed with the movie. She watched it probably 20 times at least during the Christmas season. It's her favorite Christmas movie. So I've watched it with her a few times. And I guess those 2 are the first 2 I think of. I mean, that I don't watch very many movies in general, but
that's why I wanted to know what your answer was.
You can't go wrong with those 2.
Yeah. I've seen Santa Claus. I've seen the Christmas Chronicles that you were talking about earlier. I think those are pretty good too. I mean, I've only seen them once for each of them, so yeah, they're both fine. I thought they were good too, but yeah, those are pretty much the only ones I can think of, other than as a kid I watched the animated movies, like the Rudolph and Charlie Brown and Polar Express kind of stuff. But
yeah.
I will say this: I saw Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas for the first time this year. Not a fan. Not even a little bit. It's like a rubbish Muppet movie, and I don't appreciate rubbish Muppets. I don't care if it was made in the 70s. Be better.
Or just only watch Muppets
Muppet
Christmas
Christmas.
Carol.
Yeah, well, I know that now, but because because there's like Emmett Otter's got like this cult following. Is like everyone that like if you love it, you really love it.
Yeah,
So I'm like, all right, well,
Dominic
maybe
the
there's,
donkey, right?
I don't know that no, because that's quality.
Do I still have to
That's
pay money to Josh if I don't know the name of something? Is it only apply to trivia episodes? Because
That's
I've
just
never
trivia
heard that.
episodes. You're good
I've
here if
never.
you need to throw some news.
Fine. Who?
you've
What?
never? No, I've known of it
Jug
for
band.
years.
I've known of it. I've never seen it.
Yes,
I've
don't.
never heard of that.
I don't worry.
Just
I
don't.
won't. I won't.
Okay, so no, I can't. I won't add that one on my list. I'll make sure
No,
to not
don't.
watch.
Don't.
Erase that from your
Muppets Christmas Carol. Add that to your list.
if you've not seen it, because that
I don't think
is
I've seen. I think it might be the only Muppets movie I haven't seen. I'm thinking about it. I think of other ones I have, but
it is the best Christmas movie. I feel like just hands down.
It's up there. It's up there.
It's so good. Michael Caine.
I
is
still
just,
I still really like Christmas Story, and I get why people don't like, where a lot of people are just like not into it, and I get why maybe Marcus and Scott aren't huge. Like, I get it that they're probably not huge fans of this.
yeah, it's for me.
there's
Yeah.
so many quotable hidden moments in that movie that like if you just watching it 800 times helps you find them.
It does, and it hit me like at the perfect point because I'm like, I think I'm the same age as, I can't think of his name, the actor who played Ralphie. Like, I was that age.
Peter Billingsley.
Yeah, Peter Billingsley. I think we're the same age. So it was like perfectly timed for me to like, obviously some of the more adulty humor parts of it kind of went over my head early, but so I watched it every year before even you could watch it every year just on television, right? So
That goes to that tradition aspect of it too, though, is like I have it on my iTunes. I could watch it at any time, and I don't. I save it for Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That is one of my traditions, and I watch it on the little marathon they do. I'm like, I'll watch the commercial. All of it's built in. I don't care. This is what I've been doing since I was probably about 13.
And the nice thing is, since they do it offset on the hour for TBS and TNT, you can almost always get it right at the beginning. Just gotta wait for it to roll to the top of the hour.
And you never sit there and watch the whole thing. You get the whole movie over the 24 hours.
Correct.
You get every part of it at some point over those 24 hours, and it's
totally
beautiful.
That's one of the other traditions that like means the most to me is the watching of Christmas Story. Sometimes
I will say
that stretch of the 24 hours.
Now that you mention it, top 5 Santa Clauses of all time, that Santa Claus has got to be in my top 5.
The department store one?
Yeah. Oh God. Yes. That's so perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. All right. So before my rant, I did not forget about the rant. It's coming. Right. It's coming. It's not even so much a rant, but it kind of is at the same time. Before I even get to that, one, I need to know where do you, outside of a Swiss Miss packet, get good hot chocolate? Does it exist?
I mean, if you're saying outside of a Swiss Miss packet,
yeah. Other than just buying,
that's where I usually get it from.
Right? Yes. Is that it? Is that like upper echelon? You can't like go somewhere and get a good freaking cup of hot chocolate?
I have a place, but it's a local like diner kind of place, and my wife has gotten hot chocolate from it, and it's very good. Like it's not. If it is from a package, it's a very good one because it tastes like actual like they make it kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of ones. Like when I was younger, I used to like Starbucks' peppermint hot chocolate because I like peppermint chocolate together. But I had it probably a year or two ago, and I was like, this isn't good. It just tastes like watered down chocolate syrup.
Yes.
I was like, no, I'm not. I was very clouded in judgment, I guess, when I was younger, but it is not good. So I don't have anything for you as far as that.
A couple of times I've had Mexican hot chocolate at different, more upscale Mexican restaurants. One being Zoco in Chicago. It's who's the owner? What is his name? Why can't I think of his name? He was a top chef master guy. Oh, it's driving me crazy. Is it on their website? Anyway, so he owns Frontera Grill. So they have chips and salsas in stores.
Okay.
At their kind of lunch spot called Zoco, you can get a Mexican hot chocolate, and it's very rich and just I don't know what spices and stuff they put in, but it's really delicious. So if you find yourself in Chicago,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I went to Tim for people like up north, Tim Hortons, right? That for some reason people love Tim Hortons. I don't get it. But somebody told me like, oh, their hot chocolate's pretty good. And I'm like, from what I remember, it's not. So today I went and I got one, and I didn't taste even any chocolate in it. Like it tasted like just warm milk with like a hint of chocolate. I'm like, what is, I don't even know what this is. This is bad. I'm like, how do I get? So this is my call out. I know our listeners aren't the most vocal out there. But if you have either one, a brand of hot chocolate that I can buy at the store, please let me know. Or two, a recipe that you have, please let me know, because I am desperate for this. Like hot chocolate this time of year is like everything, that and eggnog. So I need recipes of hot chocolate. So somebody please let me know. All right. So two things. One, I'm sure I've touched on this before, but the Santa Claus. So when dude falls off the roof and no one cares about him anymore in the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, what's that about? Like dude falls off the roof and Tim Allen goes back to the North Pole. Oh, what happened to the other guy? Where's Phil? No one knows. He's just gone. No, like we're just, yep, new guy. Was he beating the elves? Did they hate him? Like what was going on? Anyway, that's part of it. Next.
It might be that maybe it's out of sight, out of mind. Kind of once the suit gets a new owner,
everyone's got amnesia. They don't remember the old guy.
They don't even remember because all they know is Santa. In any moment, it's just Santa. So who that person is outside of being Santa, they don't even know or care.
Okay, so Jude just falls off the roof and just end of it.
Yeah,
cool.
And as long as somebody shows back up with the Santa suit, they're good.
Oh my God. All right. So, my 7-year-old son, Oliver, is currently, and when I say currently, for the past 2 years, been obsessed. Like I said, he has that obsessive personality, obsessed with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie from the 60s, that claymation, whatever, animation, whatever thing. So this last year we asked him what he wanted for Christmas, and he wants the doll from the Island of Misfit Toys.
Oh,
the little girl doll. A very specific request, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we had no idea where to find it. Somehow we found it this year. He doesn't listen to this, so he doesn't know that Santa Claus isn't bringing it. But
nice.
We found it, not Santa Claus. I'm taking credit. So we have that for him. So even when we took him to see Santa Claus, I'm like, I like even let Santa Claus know. I'm like, hey, he's got a very specific request, so don't look shocked when he asks you what he wants. So that's what he wanted. Anyway, so going to this movie now, does anybody know what was wrong with that doll? They're all on the Island of Misfit Toys. What was wrong with that doll? Yeah, right.
I never really thought about it.
Yeah, just a doll, just hanging out with a gun that shoots jelly and a train with square wheels and a cowboy that rides an ostrich. I know all of them because I watched this movie 45 times. I just watched it before I came down here to do this recording.
That's a good question.
Oh, there is something wrong with that doll. There is an answer, and it was given to and it's stated by the author of the whole thing, or the person who made the movie, or whatever.
I'm trying to look at a picture.
Is it because she's a red hair?
No,
because she's a redhead. No.
This is
her hands.
Nope. This is something you can't see.
Oh, what?
She's depressed. She's depressed. She was apparently her previous owner didn't want her anymore, so now she's depressed. So that's what it says.
So she became depressed after.
Apparently,
after
so now
being
she's
rejected.
a misfit. Now she's a misfit toy. So take that home to your.
She doesn't have anyone to be with.
Correct.
It's not misfit because it's like an issue with the toy. It's just It's a psychological kind of
Yeah,
thing.
she's broken. She's mentally broken.
That makes
Poor
it.
doll.
Right?
That's
I'm
sad.
sad now.
Right? Yeah, there you go. I enjoy that with your children. Like, oh, there's a gun that shoots jelly, and then this girl who wants to anyway. So I told you guys that movie is so messed up in so many ways. Santa Claus is a jerk. Everybody, it's just watching that movie. I'm like having my kid watch this movie. I'm like, nobody is nice like that. They're just, it's so bad. It's so bad. But there's murder at the end, and I just found this out watching social media like reels. There's murder at the end of the movie. Do you know where the murder happens? Yeah, silence from everybody.
Okay. Trying to think about it.
Does the Yeti get killed?
No, he's fine at the end. They just rip his teeth out. And it's not. Yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, there's this big angry monster who wants to just eat to live, and he can't because you ripped his teeth out because you're selfish, because you don't want to get eaten because you're not part of the food chain that he's on. But anyway. So at the end of the movie, Santa Claus goes to the island of misfit toys and picks up all the misfit toys and puts them into his sack and goes to deliver them to all the kids in the world. So all these toys are going to have a new home, except one of them. There's one of them that's not going to get a new home. So if you remember, I don't know how often you guys have watched this movie. At the end, there's an elf in the back of the sleigh. He's taking the toys out of the sack. He's handing them an umbrella and then pushing them off the sleigh, and they float down to their new home. He doesn't give an umbrella.
One of them without an umbrella?
He doesn't give an umbrella to one toy.
Please don't tell me it's the dolly.
No, he doesn't give the toy to the bird. Makes sense. Why would you give a bird an umbrella? The bird's just going to fly down. Everything's fine. Why was the bird on the island of misfit toys?
Because it couldn't fly?
That's right. So you just pushed a bird off the sleigh and he died. I don't care if you say he died. He's dead. He's gone.
Well, maybe he could fly. Maybe he needed the tough love.
Maybe he figured it out.
Wait, maybe you have to. Yeah, maybe he just glides. Like it's like he can't fly on his own. But like if you propel him,
no, he swims. Maybe. He has a tail to swim.
Well, I mean,
he's not a bird that flies; it's a bird that swims. That was his misfit ability, I guess. So he's gone.
Let's see how aerodynamic that tail is.
So watch the credits next time. And not only the worst part of all of it, not only does he pull the umbrella out, look at the bird, and then not give it to him, just doesn't. He had it out in his hand, was ready to go, and then the bird, basically the bird goes, and then he waves at the bird, and then it's just.
Does anyone confirm that the bird is dead?
I confirmed it. He doesn't fly.
I'll have to look this up now. Let's see.
If he could fly, he wouldn't have been there.
A bird that swims.
Yes.
Well, first video. That elf killed that bird is the title of the video.
Oh, no.
See? Like I said,
the elf thought he was a bird, right? So that he could fly.
Well, he messed up. So that's negligence. And he's liable. Just saying. Santa Claus didn't even notice.
Wait, he gave an umbrella to the airplane that couldn't fly? But
I don't know if they show the airplane being let go, but I just
the assumption is that everything else got an umbrella.
I'm assuming everybody else got an umbrella.
I'm watching the clip right now to see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, well, I fear that he also chucked the airplane that couldn't fly because he thought it's an airplane. Oh no!
My favorite thing is he pulls out the umbrella.
Yes.
And then he's just like, "Nah, you don't need it. Okay, bye."
It waves at him. It just sends him on his way.
Oh no!
Oh,
it's not even that like he forgets to give the umbrella. It's just that he grabs the umbrella.
He chooses not to give. He chooses not to give it.
It's to him. We're one short.
Oh, no.
Maybe they were throwing the bird into the ocean, and so there was.
Sure.
In our heart, we'll just think that
it has been too long since I've watched, so I'm gonna have to give that a watch this year.
Oh God.
Although I'm
Well,
really
not-
disliking I guess one of my top Santas now I have to put oh my God, David Harbour from Violent Night.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I still haven't seen that movie.
Well, unless you have Stars, you can't stream it anywhere currently.
No, I have. It's off Peacock?
Apparently,
on
the only
Peacock
place
last
to
year.
stream it currently is Stars, is what
Well,
I've noticed. But
I have
you can
a
rent
fire,
it still. But
I have a Fire Stick that gets me whatever I have to get.
well, anyway,
Yeah.
so I think he's one of my top Santas.
I was told that it was a very good movie. I just have not gotten to it. And
I think you'll like it a lot.
I'm sure. I'm told it's Die Hard with Santa Claus.
And Santa is the
Bruce
badass.
Willis. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to keep just binging a bunch of movies the next handful of days, and that always gets me completely in the Christmas spirit. Even if it's Die Hard, that gets me in the Christmas spirit.
You got that's what kicks off the Christmas season for me. So,
Mhm.
all right. So let's end it with this. Outside of a dead bird, what is your favorite Christmas cookie?
Mhm.
Is
I'll
there
go
one?
first. I think
Go
my
ahead.
favorite is the peanut butter cookie that you put the
The Hershey Kissin'?
no, not the one with Hershey
No?
Kiss. You put a Reese's miniature, Reese's
Oh, really?
peanut butter miniature. So it's a peanut butter cookie, and you put in. So after it cooks, when you first take it out, it's soft,
jab
and
the
you
thing in
push
there,
in
yeah.
a Reese's peanut butter cup miniature in the middle.
Interesting.
That's my favorite.
All right, Mason.
First one I
Favorite?
thought of, because it's more on my dad's side of the family, because my dad's side's Italian, are the little Italian Christmas cookies, the ones with the kind of rounded, they have like powdered sugar on them.
Yeah.
Like those are usually pretty nostalgic for me. I mean, they're not exactly the moistest cookie, they're very dry, but it just kind of brings back good memories because I used to have them, or we'd get them from someone and make them and bring them to our Christmas. So, yeah, those are the first ones I thought of.
So mine is, and at the same time, I'm not sure if these are considered Christmas. It's just a cookie that we eat at Christmas time. It's more a bar, I guess, because it's made a big sheet and you just cube it up. And you can get it from Double Lights, so keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure the check your taint promo code's still working. But it's called Jerbo, and it's a layer of dough with ground up walnut and then some jam and then some chocolate, and it's honestly the best thing at Christmas time for me. This is the only time I really have it. But yeah, so check out Double Slice because you can get one of those, and I won't have to make it for you. And it's excellent.
I need to
But,
order
yeah.
up some of that. That's yeah. No, and mine's the same thing. Like it's not technically in it. There's nothing real Christmassy about the cookie, but that's the only time I make them and eat them.
You have it,
is
yeah.
Christmas. I
Exactly.
mean, otherwise, a good gingerbread man is always a pretty tasty cookie too.
I had the gingerbread when I was at Disney a couple years ago. They make a big gingerbread house there, and you can buy parts of it, I guess. And it was probably the best gingerbread I've ever had. And who would have thought Disney makes the best gingerbread? Anyway,
I mean, would it surprise me if there's certain things that Disney does better
Right?
than others? Probably
Right.
doesn't really surprise me.
exactly. All right. Well, anything anybody wants to say before we get out of here?
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy holidays to everybody in
Yes.
whatever you choose to celebrate, even a Festivus for the rest of us, whatever it is. Enjoy time with friends and family.
Definitely. Mason?
Yeah, same thing. Although, speaking of Festivus, I feel like this was an opportunity for E to have his airing of the grievances. I feel like that was the reason we had this episode was not even for the Christmas party, it was just for him to
Yes.
celebrate Festivus in a way.
Always.
You weren't expecting a TV reference from me. Actually understand what that meant. Probably were not. So you can't mark that one off your bingo card because I actually got a TV reference. But yeah, I will agree with all of that as well. That whatever you decide to celebrate, or you don't celebrate anything at all, just this kind of time of year, spend time with friends and family, and give as much as you can. to others, especially those that don't have as much right now, whatever way that is, money, time, whatever the case may be. That's kind of what the season's all about, honestly. It's just kind of being thankful for everything that you have and giving what you can to others. So, yeah, definitely do that. And thanks to all of y'all that decided to listen to all of this and all the things that we put out there. We're thankful for y'all. And so hopefully, you get to rest, and hopefully this was an enjoyable listen. And we got to talk about, all sorts of things that we weren't expecting to deal with, but
it's a nice change of pace. No trivia today, just hanging out, talking about stuff that makes us angry.
And
like
happy.
a dead bird, just a dead,
and a depressed doll,
just a dead bird thrown off a sleigh, and Santa Claus didn't even turn around and acknowledge. No one cared about that.
Maybe Santa used his powers to allow him to fly as well as swim.
So wait, the powers that weren't going to work when there was a bad snowstorm, like it's too snowy out. My magic doesn't work in the snow. And anyway, yes, happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to us all year. Thanks for listening to me be ridiculous every time I'm on. I apologize for any offending anybody throughout the year. But yeah, this should be coming out next week. This is gonna be a fast release. So
yeah, I figured we'll just get it out in the next day or two. Get it out,
before
so everybody
Christmas,
can listen either on or around Christmas.
Yes, play this for your family. Because guess what? Yeah, because it's not worse than Rudolph. If you're watching Rudolph, this is way more. This is better because we're not killing a bird anyway. But yeah, thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Now, later, again, and until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch. Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.